What up? What up? What up? I feel like I'm in the sky. Like I feel like I'm really high. But we gotta do what we gotta do. Cool. So I'm here today to talk about breastfeeding and pumping and the whole shebang.
Who won it? Who won it? Which nigga little goon getting stewed with the onion?
I've wanted to. Ow! This ring's tight. I wanted to come and talk about this because oh my god, there's a fire over there. The boarders over there are doing something, and there's just like fire and stuff, and it looks really fun. Seeing as we're isolating ourselves. Anyway, yeah, I've wanted to come and do this video for ages. I've just been trying to like find my feet in this like breastfeeding and pumping game, and I feel like a lot of things have changed, and I've tried different things and all them things there, and I just want to come and help anyone who needs help with like increasing their supply and stuff like that, because I feel like I've been able to do that. If you don't know, I've got a 5-month-old. He's a boy, and he's currently been weaning kind of off breast milk. So he's not just having breast milk now. He's having kind of like, he'll have a bottle in the morning when he wakes up. Then his next meal will be like baby brekkie, and another bottle or like half a bottle. And then it will be a bottle, and then it will be dinner. So it'll be like carrot, squash, you know, like those Ella Kitchen things, or like peas, whatever he fancies for that day, with water. And then, yeah, so I'm trying to just give him like water and food more rather than breast milk. Cool. So I firstly want to say I completely understand anyone who's kind of going through it. I was so ready to pack up breastfeeding. It's unbelievable. When I first started breastfeeding him, it was constant. I felt like he was constantly on my boob, like constantly wanting to be fed. And I feel like over time, I've kind of understood more about like breast milk and why you have to constantly feed them and when you're breastfeeding them and stuff like that. So I only realized, I mean, my mom told me this, I only realized this like, I don't know, like a couple of months ago, that like when you first breastfeed your child, like your boobs are full, whatever, they get like the really watery bit. So the first part of your milk is quite watery. And then the back of that, like the back of that milk is like the pure creamy milk. And I feel like sometimes when you breastfeed, because I feel like this, sometimes when I breastfeed my son, I feel like he's just getting the watery part, and that's why he's not getting filled up. Whereas if he gets like the full on creamy part, then it will make him fuller for longer. Making sense? Cool. So I decided to start pumping from, I think from when he was about 3 weeks. Like I've been pumping from earlier on before, but I mean as in like giving him a bottle, giving him breast milk through a bottle, from when he was like 2-3 weeks. And a lot of people are like, you shouldn't give your baby a bottle. But I wanted him to get used to having a bottle because I didn't want him to always be constantly on me. Like it's really helped me to kind of like when I need to go out somewhere or Lloyd's got him, Lloyd can just give him a bottle. I don't always have to be with him. And it's helped me so much, and it's helped me to feel like he's getting enough milk as well. Like I know that if he has like his 5 ounces or whatever it is, he's full. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you're breastfeeding, you're kind of like, you feed them and then you're there, you know, cool for like, I don't know, an hour. And then you're like, oh, I have to feed him again. So it's like constant. Some people love it. Some people, you know, prefer to breastfeed. I feel like as he's got older, I'm breastfeeding him more. Now that he's not required so much more milk, I kind of breastfeed him and he's cool. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he's getting food. So when I first started pumping, I was getting nada cradada. That was one of the questions, actually. I should probably answer the questions that I ask people to ask me. I'm such an idiot. Sorry guys, something in my eye. This is not the best time to have something in my eye. Yeah, so let me go through the questions. That makes more sense. Cool. So, how can I... Something in my eye. This is not right. This is not alright. This is not okay. Everything is right. Everything is gay. Oh, here we go. Someone asked me, how can I increase my supply so I don't have to give my son formula on top of breast milk? Right, firstly, I want to say that anyone who's combining like formula and breast milk, like don't feel like bad about that. Like it's not like the end of the world as long as they're getting fed. Like it's really not a big deal. I feel like sometimes like, especially me, like you get upset about not being able to like supply your child with enough breast milk and da 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 da. It's not easy, bro. So don't ever feel like, you know, you're not doing great because of that. Because I've had like a couple of people say that to me. Anyway, so the way that you can increase your breast milk is to pump, 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 pump. Like I will literally stand by just pumping, because I feel like the more you pump, the more you're asking your body to create milk. Sometimes when your baby, sometimes when you feed your baby, your body thinks, okay, cool, like you only needed 2 ounces, so next time I'll create 2 ounces for you. Whereas when you pump, even when you pump past the point of you creating milk, you're asking your body to create more milk. Do you know what I mean? So I remember when my son was on 4 ounces and I used to pump more. So if I used to pump 4, I used to pump after that as well. So say to my body like, no, his belly's getting bigger, he needs more milk. So that was easier for me to be able to like hit the standard of, okay, cool, he's getting older, he needs 5 ounces now, or he needs 6 ounces now. So it is daunting, but I think if you pump, find a really good pump. My favorite pump is the Advent pump. Shout out to my cousin because my cousin gave me this. It's the Advent pump. It looks like this. I'm going to I'm going to put everything down below. Obviously, it's got a plug in that. You use this part. In this part, I hope that you can see everything, guys. You put it here, like that, and then you connect this to your boob. Now, I do not like the Advent shield that it comes with. I don't like it. I feel like the shield has like a rubbery bit inside. Do I even have it? Be careful. The shield, yeah. So the shield has a rubbery bit inside. These are filthy, guys. I haven't used these in ages. Just don't judge me. Cool. They have a shield inside, and you put it obviously inside there. And I feel like this shield is good to protect your boobs and stuff, but I feel like it's stopping it from like churning out the milk. For me, anyway. This is actually milk that I pumped this morning. So this is 10 ounces, and this is 6. So that's 16 ounces I was able to pump this morning. And my son is currently drinking 6-ounce bottles at the moment. So yeah, it's really good. Like, it's really a good feeling when you feel like you can create like more than one bottle. Sorry, I'm completely going off. So I have changed from the Advent bottle that comes with that pump to a pump that I got on Amazon. So this is £10, this pump. I love it because the Advent part can fit into here. And this shield is amazing. It fits perfectly on my boob. Obviously, everybody's got different kind of nipples and stuff like that. So this has really helped me like to be able to churn out some milk. What I've noticed is that if your boobs are full, really make sure that you're using like a good nipple cream before you pump. So one that I would recommend, this is quite pricey, but it's honestly the best. I've used others and they're crap. I'm gonna list this down below, guys. You can buy it on Amazon. But you literally need like a teeny bit. Like I use my, I'm still filming. I use my baby finger and I just put it on both nipples. So it's enough and it keeps them moisturized. You can even breastfeed with it on. It's fantastic. It just fell on the floor. It's fantastic. So I'll put that on my nipples before I pump. I pump one boob electric and one boob manually. So this is what I use on one boob, and then I'll use the other one for my other boob. I am not fond of this. The reason I'm not fond of this is because it has fallen off me a lot of times. Now that could be because I'm putting nipple cream on and it's slippery and whatnot. But even when I haven't put nipple cream on, it doesn't really hold on my boob properly. And this is why I say that you have to kind of go by how your nipples are and how your boobs are, because we all have different boobs. So this has helped me to kind of like when I'm breastfeeding baby Lloyd to get milk on the other side. So the way you put it on is like that, and then you put it onto your nipple like that, and then press down, and then it will just stay. Obviously, you can't see it now because man's nipples aren't out. And I get at least about 3 ounces, 2.5 ounces on this, on one side. And I obviously like every time that I change it. So what I would do is, let me go through my day with you quickly. In the morning I wake up, my son sleeps through the night. So in the mornings, my boobs are so full, they're painful. So I connect one to this, and the other one the electric, and I time it. So I'll put a 15-minute timer on my phone so that I know, okay, cool, I've done 15 minutes, and then I'll swap over to make sure that each boob is getting the same kind of like stimulation. Cool. I also suggest, if you are looking to increase your supply, to try out Fenugreek. A lot of people, if you read the reviews on this, will say, it makes you smell like curry. But for me, I honestly believe that if you're like a hygienic woman and you're very on top of like washing your armpits and stuff like that, then you won't really like smell. When I was pregnant, my cousin suggested this to me, and I used I think I was taking 2 a day, with like breastfeeding tablets. So I used the Pregnacare ones. Guys, I don't have the packaging for these, but basically you take 2 of these and 1 of these. So every morning I would have my oatmeal. That's another thing. Oatmeal is amazing to help with your supply. So I have a big bowl of oatmeal with like fruit, dried fruit, whatever you want to put in it is up to you. And I would then have a coffee as well, because my life. And then I'd take my tablets with like a massive gallon of water. That's another thing that helps you, is lots of water, keeping yourself hydrated and all them things there. So I take 2 of these and those tablets, and then done out here. My milk would help. It would help my milk. So cool. So now that my son is 5 months, I take 4 of these. There was a time when I needed to, I think for my birthday, I needed to build up a stash. So I was taking, I think, 5 a day of these and kind of like relaxing a bit with these ones. So I wouldn't take all 5 at once, guys. Don't panic. I'd take like 3 in the morning and then 2 before I go to bed. If you're not good with like taking pills all at once, you can do it that way. And that really helped me to build a stash, because I was pumping way more than I needed, way more than he needed for the day. And what I would do is pump every 2 to 3 hours. Now, guys, I completely get it. I just want to say that I completely understand that, like, it's very time consuming to pump all day long. It's very, very time consuming. But what I do is during the week, I will plan like what I'm doing in the week, and then make sure that I have a couple of days where we're indoors and I can concentrate on creating milk. It's like a shift. Like, if you want to create something, you've got to put the work in. Do you know what I mean? Cool. So I would pump every 2 to 3 hours. Now I pump every kind of 4 hours. If we're out, I would just breastfeed my son. Even if he's had a bottle, I would just kind of ask him nicely to kind of take off like the water part of my breast milk, just so it's not as uncomfortable for me during the day. Cool. So yeah, so that covers that. I hope it does. I hope it does. Someone said, "What's your tips have helped to supplement your supply for fully pumps?" Like I said. Lots of water, try Fenugreek, try 2 a day at first and see how you go. But Fenugreek has literally helped me to triple if I show you guys the stash that I've got at the moment, it's really like helped with my supply. But the main thing is pumping. Like, you have to put in the shift of pumping. Like, even if you're getting drops and drops and drops, all these drops will add up to like milk. Sometimes I used to pump and get like 2 ounces, 1 ounce out of each boob. And I used to just be like, what the hell is this? But the more you do it, the more your body gets used to creating milk. You have to basically train your body to create milk. Because obviously your body isn't used to this. Like, it doesn't know like that you need that much milk. It doesn't really know that your baby's growing either. So it won't just be like, oh, your baby's 5 months, I'm going to increase your supply, because you need to be in charge of like getting it out. Someone said, what express pump brands has been the best for you? Like I said, the Advent electrical device, I'll put everything down below, like I said, and the Amazon bottle. This has also helped me. Where is it, guys? Did it drop on the floor? Yeah, it did. This has also just helped me to just like get a little bit more than just like the electric pump. Sometimes, guys, I even get more out of this than I do the electric pump. So it really does depend. Sometimes my supply isn't great. Sometimes I'm able to like churn out as much milk as I did this morning. It really does depend on like how much time I have, how much water I've drank and stuff like that. So don't get upset if you're like, sometimes I used to get upset like, oh my God, like I haven't pumped like 12 ounces today. What's going on? Because I think in the daytime, sometimes you might have more supply. then in the morning. Like, everybody's different. Yeah. Next question. Here's a picture of my son, my babes. Are there foods that produce more milk and others that restrict the flow? Sorry, I've got a different mic on, so I just was wanting to make sure that there was sound in it. Are there foods that produce more milk and others that restrict the flow? Like I said, oatmeal has been amazing for me. Lots of water. One thing that I think has kind of like is difficult when I'm breastfeeding my son, and if I have like a spicy food or kale, oh my god, it makes my son so windy. When I eat healthy, it makes my son really like windy, or his poos are mad. So I kind of try and like balance out the healthy foods. Obviously every baby's different, and some babies might love like the fact that like, you know, you're eating healthy and stuff. But my son, I can't eat like healthy all the time because for him it just makes his poos explosive. And if we're out and there's poo in his back, it's long for man. Food tips that help bring on milk. Yeah, guys, sorry, I'm just reading the same questions. Oatmeal, water, there's fruit and veg. I think try and eat as clean as you can. I sometimes don't, and it really does depend on like where I'm at and what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and stuff. But I just think just try and eat like at least one bowl of greens a day. So whether that be broccoli or whatever you fancy, whatever your favorite veg is, and lots of fruit as well. I try and drink not a lot of caffeine as well. I have one coffee a day in the morning, and then throughout the day I kind of like will do decaf green tea and stuff like that. Cool. Do you co-sleep so that he can just self-latch in the night? So guys, when my son was younger, when he was like 4 or 5 weeks, sometimes he'd sleep in the bed with me, sometimes he wouldn't. It really did depend on like what was going on and stuff like that, and if my partner's in the bed with us as well. Because I didn't feel safe like sometimes having him in the bed with me, because you know mans might roll over and it just be peak. So I would just put him in the cot, and I wanted him to get used to being in his cot and not used to our bed, because sometimes, you know, he might just love our bed and not want to sleep in his cot, and why would I buy a cot if he's not going to sleep in it? So when he was younger, I did have him in the bed with me sometimes, because if he woke up during the night, like I know that some babies still wake up, like obviously I'm so blessed that he's able to sleep through the night. But so when he was 5 weeks, we answered the freaking question. When he was 5 weeks, he would wake up every couple of hours. So I would have, his cot is right next to the bed, so I would usually just lift him up, or I'd have him in the bed with me, and yeah, he'd self-latch himself. Or another thing that's helped me is to lie on my side while I'm breastfeeding him. The flow is much better. Shout out to my mum for that. Yeah, the flow is much better when you lie on your side, and they're able to latch on. Let me see what else. How do you maintain breastfeeding and bottle same time? I don't know. I feel like I've been quite lucky that my son, I think maybe because I introduced the bottle quite early, that he's still used to like me breastfeeding and the bottle. I'm not gonna lie, guys, there was a point where I was strictly just pumping, like I wasn't even putting him on my boob. Like I was saying to my mum, like, it's crazy, I haven't breastfed him in time. I think there was like a month where I just didn't even breastfeed him. It was just straight pumping, because I was getting into the flow of like creating all this milk and like just giving him a bottle, and it was just easy. What was the question? Yeah, so I think because I introduced the bottle from early, he was able to kind of like know the bottle and also know my boob, because at night time, to soothe him, this is another thing that's amazing about breasts and breastfeeding, is that I'd use my breast to soothe him, give him milk before he goes to bed. And even now, like, it helps. Like when he's like aggy, I breastfeed him and he calms down, because guys, he started to shout. He's learned how to shout. So to calm him down before bedtime, I breastfeed him and it soothes him and he goes to bed. Not always. Don't get twisted. Sometimes I breastfeed him and he's like staring at me still, and I'm like, okay, this is not working. But anyway, you know, them things there. Could you always pump large amounts, or did you have to build it up? Yeah, I had to build up to it. And the thing is that it hasn't taken me 5 months to get to this. It hasn't taken me 5 months to get to this supply. Don't feel like, oh my God, like my child's 3 months and it's going to take me till he's 6 months to get this, like your supply up. Honestly, I can double my supply in a week. Like I'm telling you, if you give yourself like 2-3 days in the week where you're just home, not even home for the whole day, because I know that sometimes you need to go out for some fresh air. But if you just devote like, let's say like half of the day to you pumping when he's sleeping, then I'm telling you, your supply will double. I'm telling you, it will double, because your body realizes quickly that, okay, cool, she needs more milk. Let me create more milk. Another thing that I found difficult, and especially when I was first pumping, was that I would be really upset that like I couldn't just go to sleep. So if my son went for a nap, like I couldn't just sleep next to him because I would need to pump. Because obviously if your baby's sleeping, they're not taking the milk out your boobs, so you need to get it out. And I think sometimes if I miss, like when I was first pumping, if I would miss like a session of pumping. So say for example, it's 12 o'clock and I've just fed him a bottle, and the last time I pumped was 10 o'clock, then, or 9 o'clock, then at 12 o'clock I need to pump, and I can't just sleep with him if he goes to bed at 12. So I need to pump. So that's why I've set a timer for 15 minutes each boob, to make sure that you're not just sitting there and pumping just because you're pumping. Just because. And I think it kind of restricts your time to be like, okay, cool. Sometimes like we'll be going out and I'll be like, okay, cool, I've got half an hour. Let me quickly pump while I do my makeup. So it's kind of like, you know that you need 30 minutes to just quickly churn out some milk and then go about your day. You don't need to sit there for hours on end just pumping. But it is very tedious and it is hard. But when you see how much milk your body's starting to produce, it just feels really, really good. You feel really proud. Yeah, someone said, how do I keep on top of pumping? I just make sure that at first I was trying to use an app, but it was really hard for me to like press start and then remember to end it when I'm finished, because you guys know that like there's so much happening when you've got a baby. So I would just know that, okay, cool, you pumped like 3 hours, 4 hours ago, you need to pump. And if you don't, you either need to breastfeed him. So you need to do something to get your milk out, because your body will think that like, okay, cool, like you didn't take the milk out, then maybe you don't need more milk. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, someone also said, what is the best method to defrosting expressed frozen booby milk? Or also love ya. Thank you, love you too. The best way is, so if I say that I need to go to the cinema or something, I will take out, usually I've got milk in the fridge, but if I've got it in the freezer, I'll take it out of the freezer and I'll put it in the fridge, and it will defrost like while it's in the fridge. Or I'd leave it outside of the fridge for like, I don't know, an hour and let it defrost naturally. I wouldn't suggest putting heat on it because I feel like you're kind of heating up defrost milk. Let it defrost naturally. Or if you need the milk straight away, then I guess you can put a little bit of hot water on it just to help it defrost. But I wouldn't put scorching hot water on it. I would let it kind of defrost when you can. So if you know you're going out, do that like when you wake up in the morning, so that like by the time you leave, the milk is like in a bottle. Do you know what I mean? How many times do you pump a day? Okay, let me count. So it depends if I'm going out though, guys. So if, let's just say that I'm not going out. So I wake up every morning about 7, 8. So I'll pump at 8. So 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll pump at 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll pump at 4 or 3. It really does depend on how full my boobs are. So yeah, I'll pump at 4. Then I'll pump at 8. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then I'll pump, so then I'll pump at 12 before I go to bed. I sometimes will breastfeed him. So say my son goes to bed at 11, I wish. I would breastfeed him on one boob before he goes to bed. I also give him a bottle, not a whole bottle, but like half a bottle, and then I'll breastfeed him to soothe him to go to bed. And then I'll pump the rest. Before I go to bed. So I think what's really helped me is pumping after I breastfeed, because your boobs have still got milk in there. Like your son or your daughter didn't get all the milk out. Like I don't believe that they get all the milk out. So yeah, pumping after you breastfeed is kind of still saying to your body, yo bro, I need some milk. Does it hurt? No, breastfeeding, pumping doesn't hurt. When my son first was born and you know, I had to latch him on, guys. Oh God, I think this is one of the questions as well. It was really hard because he wasn't latching on properly, and I didn't know what I was doing, obviously, because it's like they say to you to just latch him on, you know, just latch him on. But I didn't know that you were supposed to put the whole nipple in his mouth. So you're supposed to like you put the whole nipple in his mouth rather than the nipple, like the whole areola in his mouth rather than just the nipple. Yeah, so that kind of took away from the pain of breastfeeding and stuff. This guy is getting teeth now though, so sometimes when he latches on, I'm like, okay. But that's why I say to get a really good nipple cream, because when I wake up in the morning or when I'm not even pumping, I will massage my nipples with like nipple cream. Even if you don't want to buy nipple cream, get like shea butter, something that's quite thick and moisturizing to just help your boobs. I think that you kind of have to put like a barrier to protect your boobs from like when you're breastfeeding or when you're pumping, because the act of pumping and breastfeeding is very like hard on your boobs. Yeah. Some people just asking, what pump do I use and do you take any supplements? Yeah, I told you about the supplements. I'm pregnant and would love to breastfeed. Was it hard to get used to it first? Yeah, I think that like, so day 3, I always say this to people, day 3 is what my mom told me. Day 3 is when you kind of feel like you've got a flu. That's when your milk comes in. Now, some people's milk comes in day 2, day 4, whatever, but day 3 was the day that my milk came in. And I was so emotional, so hormonal, and I was just confused as to like what the hell is going on. Obviously, my mom told me what's going on. So it is hard when you're like breastfeeding and your child is still hungry. Like that is really hard because you're thinking, am I not creating enough milk? When you are creating enough milk because your body is in tune with your child. It's just that you can't see how much your child's getting. It's a shame that like our boobs can't be see-through and have like measuring ounces and stuff so we could see how much they're getting. So that's why I started to pump, because by pumping I was more aware of, okay, cool, that's 4 ounces. If he drinks that whole bottle, 4 ounces is what makes him satisfied. My son is like his dad, has an appetite like a dragon. So it really helped me to kind of like make sure that he's getting enough milk and to know that he's fulfilled. But guys, just continue pumping. Don't be disheartened. Even me, sometimes I get days where it's not the same as yesterday, but you just got to keep going at it. And just my aim is to kind of continue till he's 2. Just because I feel like breast milk contains so much amazing things that I just feel like nothing compares to like breast milk. And I feel like obviously I don't think I want to breastfeed my son till he's 2. I think I just want to create pumping milk for him to have. So when he goes to bed, he can have that. You know, when babies have that big bottle for them to go to bed, I want to be able to be like, still give him breast milk if I can. So I'm really trying to continue like pumping and everything. And the days that I feel lazy, the next day I'll be like, okay, cool, I have to be on my pumping game today. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm going off topic. Are there any foods that produce more milk? Yeah, some people already asked me that. So I've basically covered like the questions. I'm trying to think of anything else. Another thing that's really helped me is to get a pumping bag. Shout out to Lloyd because he bought me this. Another thing. So whenever you buy a pump, I think the Amazon one comes with sorry guys, just bear with me. Comes with the manual part. So when I go out, I always bring the pump with me. So I don't mean every time I go out. I mean like if I'm not with my son and I'm going to be out for a long time, then I will bring my manual pump with me, because you've got to take it seriously. Like you've got to continue creating milk, like no matter where you are, because that's what helps your body to kind of know how much milk to create. So cool. So with whatever pump you buy, hopefully electric, manual, whatever it is, it should come with the manual part. So this is the manual part for the what one is this? The Amazon one, yeah? So I would pack this. I'd pack the bottle top the teat that comes with the bottle, so that when I pump this milk, I can just put the lid on and it just be in my bag. That's actually what I do, guys. I've gone to events and stuff with it in my bag. I go to the toilet, I pump, I come out. Even if like you're just pumping like 3 ounces, at least it's something, and you can take. Because what's really good is that like I'll pump when I'm out, and then when I get back to my son, I've got a bottle for him. Do you know what I mean? And it does help. Cool. So yeah, so that's what you do, and you put it on your boob like this, and you pump, 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 pump. There was a time when I was addicted to the manual part, and then my arm started hurting, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to just have an electric one, and that is why I went and bought a new one with a shield and everything. So I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, so a pump bag. Lloyd bought me this for my birthday. He bought me this for my birthday from baby Lloyd, and it's really good because inside it has the cooler part. So if we go to like my mother-in-law's house, excuse me, sorry. If we go to my mother-in-law's house and I pump, bear in mind, like when I go to like my mother-in-law's house on the weekend, I bring everything with me. Even if my son is with me, he obviously naps, so I need to continue to pump. Like, this is the thing, like your supply can go down so quickly and it can increase so quickly. So you kind of need to keep on top of pumping. And even if you're just pumping, like I said, 3 ounces of each boob or 2 ounces or 1, at least it's something. I don't know, I said that twice. Cool, so it's got the cooler part. Where are you idiots here? The cooler part, you can put stuff in here. Sometimes I put like bibs and stuff, or like the shield or whatever. And it's got a 2-part. So on the bottom, at the bottom of this, I'll put like his monitors and everything like that, and then I'll put the milk at the top. It's really good. It's really amazing. Like when Lloyd got it for me, I was like, I don't really need a bag, but I really do. And it's good when you've got to go like, if you're in your room and you want to go to sitting room and you want to pump in the sitting room, you can put all your pumping stuff in this bag and then go. And it's got a long strap and it's just freaking sick. Like sometimes I walk around the house with it across me and Mom's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm just going to the sitting room. Pumping stuff, like we're about to start the pumping station. Yeah, so that's everything. I hope that helped. I really just want to say to all my mummies out there, or anyone who's pregnant, anyone who just watched this just because they're intrigued or before when they're having kids and stuff, just keep going. Like, you've got this. Your body knows what it's doing. Your body pushed out a human. Even if you had a C-section or whatever it was, you brought this human into the world. Do you know what I mean? And you can do it. You just have to keep on top of it, and you have to understand that the moment that you know that it's important that you've got to continue like pumping, you will be fine. Like every day, even ask Lloyd, I'm like, I have to pump. I roll my eyes every day, but I still do it, and I still get it on, and I'm able to create amazing goodness like this. So let me show you what I mean about this. Can you guys see how watery this is? My mom's probably gonna be like, why are you showing your breast milk on YouTube? But I'm just trying to help people. This is quite watery compared to how creamy this one is. Can you guys see? So this is kind of like the beginning of the milk, and then this is like the creamier part. When I put his bottles together, I usually do like half watery and then half of the creamier part to make like the bottle more wholesome. But yeah, I hope I've helped someone. Hopefully this can be the thumbnail. I hope I've helped someone, and I will put all the supplements down below. I will put the pump I use, all the pumps that has helped me in this process. And yeah, I really hope that you guys are good and healthy through this whole shenanigans that's happening to our world. And also, I've completely forgot what I was going to say. Wow. Yeah, I'll try and put any like guidelines down below as well, and anything that's helped me. But just keep going. Do not be disheartened. If you've got to combine feed, then you've got to combine feed. Like it's really not that big a deal. I'm looking at the clock because I actually need to go and pump. Funny that. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day, and just happy Mother's Day to all my mummies out there. I really hope that you're able to, celebrate in this time. Like, it's really frustrating, and it makes me sad to think that like I can't even just go out and eat and enjoy my day. with my baby and my boy and my babes. So yeah, I love you guys. Happy Hanukkah. Yeah, bye.
Okay, I'm reloaded.